Hi, I'm John Byrne with Poets&Quants. Welcome to the C.T. Bauer College of Business at the University of Houston. We're about to go into a classroom and talk with 4 current students who will share their experiences and their insights about what it's like to be a student here. Come and join us. Let's start with a little bit of each of you. So, Terrence, I wonder, you tell me what brought you to this school in particular, and give me a little sense of your personal narrative, like who you are.
Okay. So I graduated high school 2010.
In Houston?
Yes.
Okay.
I went to LaPorte High School. It's east of here. And upon graduating, I wanted to go to college, but was not in a financial situation to do so, really.
Sure.
And ended up working a full-time job. I ended up not really wanting to do that either. Went to the military 6 years later, came back, went to the railroad. After the furlough, after the pandemic, I decided, you know what, now's my time to, go back to school. I had been away from home for almost 10 years, and then I decided, I like school out here and everything, but I want to go back home. And so came back to U of H. I decided to come here and didn't know that there was an entrepreneurship program. But when I found out, I was just like, this was the reason why I came back, because I had to pursue this. And so ultimately, that's kind of what brought me here.
What service were you in?
Air Force.
Where were you deployed?
I never got deployed, but I was stationed all throughout the U.S. In different places, yeah.
How have you found the university experience? What were your first impressions of the place?
My first impressions, honestly, it was just community. It just seemed like a really, really nice place to learn. I think what really got me excited was just learning all the things that I've always wanted to learn, and just there was that invisible barrier you're not getting past. It's like, how are we? So I had to go and figure all these things out from experience, just from working out in the world and just experience the real world. And then coming back here, and then it's like, okay.
So that allowed you to gain some more maturity and distance from whatever to come and start almost a new chapter in your life.
Right, absolutely. It was just, I think the difference was raw talent with no purpose versus, all right, now you got purpose. Now you understand why you're doing what you're doing. So it was just a huge transition, but I had to go through that, and I'm happy.
Great. Now, are you a first-gen student? I know that a lot of students here are first-gen. I happen to be a first-gen student myself.
Yes, sir, I am.
So that's a whole other thing too, because I'm assuming like me, I never had a professional role model in my life. My parents were uneducated. My mother couldn't read or write, and here I am, a writer and an author, and my mother couldn't read anything I've ever done. Which is sort of weird.
No, it's real.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, my mom, she started going to college and was unable to finish, and my father never went and decided to open his own business. So in retrospect, it's like, looking back on it, if he had had the tenacity to do it, he would have been able to probably operate his business to its fullest potential.
Sure. Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of what I'm here to finish.
Yeah, I think, a lot of people, when you talk about entrepreneurship, a lot of people say, well, why go to school and, have to wait before you start your business, or pay tuition before you start your business instead of using it as seed capital or whatever. But the truth is, the more you learn about the disciplines of business and how to work, it really reduces the risk of starting your own company. And then when your company gets going, you have the skills and the tools to do things you otherwise would not have been able to do. Where you'd learn on your own, but after a lot of mistakes. You eliminate a lot of mistakes, essentially. Yeah, totally true. Okay, your journey. I know you've wandered the world. You're a great cook. and you love English literature. But what brought you here?
So, I finished my undergrad during the when COVID started, and
Oh, that's hard.
I came home, to be with my parents during COVID, and had the idea of I was going to apply for my PhD in English to continue to, go on that journey of learning and reading and writing because it's so much fun. And I wasn't making any money, so I was getting really bored and irritated. So I started working in a restaurant, fine dining restaurant in Houston. And I just realized a lot of the things that I wanted to write about and read about were happening right in front of me. So I thought, oh, well, let me, think about hospitality, maybe management. And I think I researched a hospitality school. U of H was like number 1 or number 2, something like that. And I was thrilled because, my parents are here, and everyone I know who went to U of H, who were my teachers, because I did my high school here, they all were like, I love U of H. I love U of H. They would everybody who's from U of H has that like genuine love for the school. So I've always been very intrigued by why. Like I can feel the vibe of the school like that, but I was wondering like if I would also feel like that. So I was very excited about coming here, and I love U of H. It's like I came here, I started my master's. I have incredible professors. My peers are hardworking, genuine, sincere, work hard, play hard, and like humble. And that was the Hilton College. And then I started with Bauer, and same thing. Incredible professors who are interested in the university, in the students being better. They have been so kind to me, and my peers are like very well-rounded people. So it's a great community, and just so thrilled to have gotten this become a part of my journey, which was not anticipated at all. So I'm here, and I'm definitely one of those people who's going to be talking about U of H for the rest of my life with like those eyes that U of H people have.
Where'd you go undergrad?
UC Berkeley in California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Berkeley's a unique community as well.
Definitely. Yeah, unique for sure, yeah.
I mean, I lived in San Francisco for 11 years before moving to Virginia, and we'll have good friends in Berkeley.
Yeah.
Interesting place.
For sure, yeah. And I think, I got to see a couple of my professors there, life-changing. So I was excited when I came to U of H, and I found more professors like that. It's really a gem, U of H, for me. Like, but not even like 1 or 2, like handful of them that are like incredible people. So very happy to be here.
How many years separated your undergraduate experience from the beginning of your graduate experience?
Like 6 months.
Oh, only 6 months?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
wow.
graduated in
Okay.
December of 2020, and then I worked for a few months. I was doing my applications for PhD, and then I was working in in the restaurant. And my mind changes very quickly. I'm a Gemini, so should I have mentioned that?
What did you learn about yourself by studying English literature?
So much. I started off my undergrad as a chemical engineering student, and I was like, because I
You're
love.
following your parents' path. Right?
How did you know? I'm just kidding.
Well, if you
Yeah,
worked in-
of course. Yeah, yeah. I love patterns, finding patterns in everything. So, engineering and those things that you think, okay, patterns are over there. But I quickly realized I think way too much about everything else to commit my career to this. And so I made that decision to switch into English literature because I thought, okay, maybe I can go into politics, I can go into journalism, God knows what I can go into. And I think one, I learned how to read well, which is like not to be taken lightly, I think.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I learned how to write well. That was a whole journey. I mean, I remember when I started, my teachers would be like, "What are you saying?" And I'm like, "Isn't it clear as day what I'm saying?" But by the end of my undergraduate, experience, I understood how to write better, and I just learned. One, I had my feminist awakening and whatnot. That was already
Through English Lit.
yeah,
Sure.
and I learned how to validate myself and how to recognize that I'm capable of learning, and I'm capable of doing what I'm putting into action what I'm learning, aka like reading well and writing. So I think once I understood my capabilities, I just kind of became a little bit, I grew into myself more, which has been really positive. So it's
You keep
really,
a journal?
I do keep a journal, yeah.
So you're a good writer.
Oh, thank you.
So Sam, how about you? Tell me about your journey here.
So for me, I was also a first-generation student. I went to Pearland High School, so southeast of Houston. And what led me to the University of Houston was actually the Moore School of Music. I was very involved in the Pearland Choir and Cantorai, and I actually wanted to become a music professor.
Is that right? What's
That
your
is.
instrument?
My voice.
Your voice.
My voice. Yeah.
Huh. You have a favorite singer?
Favorite singer of now, I would say I really like Rihanna. I know we were just talking about her earlier, but I really like Rihanna. Waiting for that next album, but
There you go, Cello.
but I also like composers. So I really like Debussy. Claire de Lune's my favorite song.
Yeah.
But from Moore's, when I was in the application journey of that, I realized that I didn't want to take the route of studying music professionally. I decided I wanted to look more into, again, how I mentioned earlier, of working for a passion, not a job necessarily. And so what always brought me back was I want to be a leader someday. I just don't know how to get there. And I want to make sure to find a program, a school that can best develop me and put me there. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to look at the Bauer College of Business and see what opportunities they have. Did some more research and realized that this is a hidden gem in the nation, in the world even. And so I am really thankful also because in the first 2 years of our undergrad, we are in the pre-business major. And so get to explore all the different routes of business there is. And for me, being interested in leadership, I've always been interested in management, but I still wanted to be still on that creative side of business, and so that's what led me to marketing. But I didn't want to stop there. I wanted to keep going to outside opportunities that there are at the Bauer College of Business. And so I started to join, for example, the Ted Bauer Leadership Certificate Program, fantastic program, and was also led to apply and thankfully get into the leadership retreat, and that's, I think, a third party, but it's still run through the Bauer College of Business every 2 years, and those two opportunities definitely ensured within me that I wanted to be a leader, and that's the root of my development. I just keep growing with everything I continue to pursue here.
So when you first stepped on campus, you were a music major or what?
So I started as pre-business, but
Oh, you did, okay.
yeah, I never.
So you already knew when you came here that that was the path you wanted to follow.
Yeah.
So you haven't given up on music, have you?
Personally, I still sing in the church choir,
Okay.
and I love that sense of community, like you mentioned again. Very personable again, and so, yeah, I haven't given up on that.
So describe your classmates to me.
My classmates right now, I am in the second semester of the sales program, so I'm very, very connected to them. We are all motivated by something. For me personally, it's to make sure that I can be sustainable and sufficient for myself and my family, present and future, and be able to develop others, because that's all that I want to do as a leader.
So where does that come from?
I think it comes, not to sound too sappy, but from within my heart, truly. But also because my parents, my family, my upbringing, and truly making sure that I can make them proud.
Are you from a big family or a small family?
Very big family. My mom has 4 other siblings and my dad has 10 other siblings.
Whoa!
And last month or last 2 months ago, I have officially met all of my aunts and uncles on my dad's side. There was a huge family reunion and brought so many tears and hugs, but it was beautiful and very, very amazing to be a part of a big family.
Wow. So your Thanksgiving Day is very crowded, I guess. A lot of noise around the table.
But I like it. A lot of fun.
How would you describe the culture of the Bauer College?
Similar to that big family, I think, more specifically within the sales program, because I spend so much of my time there, very willingly, of course, but I absolutely love that because we're all motivated by different things, we still have some commonality of that end goal, being either best team lead, or simply just being supportive of each other. How can I help you reach your goal of reaching quota or double quota through our President's Club? It's definitely a very fun culture, rewarding culture. Again, work hard, play hard that you mentioned, certainly, and I absolutely love it.
Now, how is it that one person who I met described you as ferocious? Do you consider yourself ferocious?
I think my actions describe myself as ferocious, but I don't think I've still been made aware of it.
You don't come across as ferocious. You come across as kind and caring and loving. I don't see ferocious, but maybe you're not showing that side of you right now.
I think throughout this conversation I might.
Okay.
Maybe there's the ferocious right there.
We'll see if we can get that going. Christian, what about you?
Well, there's quite a lot to say about Bauer within itself, but about me, I was actually born and raised in Mexico City. And then, thanks to my father's employment, we were able to move to Houston about 12 years ago. Then, my family came with the 2-year contract, and I had a student visa at the time. And where after those 2 years, I would go back to my normal life, or what I called my normal life in Mexico. And well, those 2 years then now became 12, year by year, renewing our visa, and never really looking forward to making it to college up until, I want to say, sophomore, junior year of high school. And where then I met with my advisor at Westside High School over to the west side of Houston. And then we started looking at the different opportunities in terms of, 1, financial reasons, and then 2, obviously the academics and my career path. Then we came to realize that my path would be best going first as a transfer student or transferring to the University of Houston from Houston Community College. Mm-hmm. And so I attended there for 2 years, and from there, the advising team from both Bauer and Houston Community College was amazing in making a transition seamlessly. And so within 1 year, which typically takes 2 years to complete your basics, I was able to complete it and transfer over. This was the first year back after COVID. And so everyone was excited on campus. Everyone was excited on campus to come back, find these connections with one another. And it was my first time being a college student, being in a campus like U of H. I'm also, not only a first-generation college student, but a first-generation immigrant. And I didn't know anything about how FAFSA works, financial aid, or academics, nothing at all. So I found that support, and I think that overall Bauer has that support within its staff, faculty, and even its own peers, my own fellow classmates. Because by asking around about what is upperclassmen's path or internship experiences have been like, allowed me to then find my own path. But also finding those mentors within
the deans that, or my professors. Just recently, I was talking to one of my professors, and he's having his birthday celebration and invited the whole classroom to go to his birthday celebration, his 70th birthday at a local brewery. So it was that type of community that you can find here, or being able to go on coffee chats with folks from the Rockwell Career Center, just to be able to get on a more personal note, understand what are some of the career paths, or even get that mentorship. While at Bauer, I've had the opportunity to be involved with a student organization called the Hispanic Business Student Association. For there, I served as president for 1 year. This is one of the largest student organizations with over 500 members and 65 events a semester. Overall, what we do is we put all these professional development events every semester, but work with companies such as Chevron, sponsor companies that come out and hire directly from our college. And so that gave me a wealth of knowledge as to what I wanted to do, and also connections, and came to realize the value that Bauer gives you, not only through academics, but also through its network. So that was one of the experiences that I really want to highlight. But a second one that I'm actually on right now, and so is Anchal, is that we're both serving on the Bauer College Board, really working with the executives from different firms, CEOs, entrepreneurs that come and give the college advice on leadership, on just insights on where to go next. As you know, the mandate for our college is the futures of business, and that team in itself and our insight also as students allow us to get there. So it's been a lot of experiential opportunities that we have gotten, that have gotten within Bauer, that have allowed me to grow. And honestly, considering my past and where I'm at now, if it hadn't been for these opportunities, everything within the college, I wouldn't be sitting talking to such an important figure like yourself today.
Not at all. How would you describe the culture of the place?
Well, very supportive. I mean, if we look at this student panel, you see a lot of diverse perspectives. And you can find this all across any classroom, that you go there and you can be sitting next to non-traditional student, you can be sitting an international student, a first-generation student, so many different perspectives that widen your lens and perspective on life. So I think the learning goes like way above and beyond just the curriculum, because in itself, the experience as a whole is very eye-opening. And so I would consider Bauer very supportive, diverse, and also welcoming. Bauer in itself, I would say, is one of the unique colleges that we take pride in belonging to this college. We even call ourselves Bauer Baddies. And that we
Bauer
go.
Baddies?
Bauer Baddies.
B-A-D.
Like baddie. Yeah, like it's something we go to other colleges or even with our peers, and we take pride in it. We're like, we're a Bauer Baddie. And so it's one of those things that the college has done an amazing job in building its credibility, even within its own university or campus, to stand out from the rest of the colleges. So that's how I would describe it. And I think we can all agree. We're proud Bauer Baddies.
That's great. Huh. Now, Terrence, maybe you can describe what organizations that you might be involved in.
Yes, sir. So Wolf Center for Entrepreneurship was founded by Bill Sherrill, and Melvin Wolf and Sylvia Wolf have helped contribute to the foundation to make it what it is today. Originally started out as leadership, but slowly transitioned to entrepreneurship. They go and get professors that have hands-on experience with the type of things that we're trying to learn about. We have a Professor Keith, Professor Reed, Bill Barboa, and just tons of others, and they will tell us, like, this is what we've done to implement our businesses. These are different strategies. They'll give us case studies. They have networks here in Houston. They'll take us to go meet CEOs and different people, lawyers, and so it's just, I mean, it's overwhelming, but it's in a good way, because you kind of get to actually see, like, what is it really like to really be on this side of thing, like behind the curtain. So more than just that, we get to collaborate with each other, and we do events, Wolf Fest. We have a intellectual property competition where we're going to be pitching my very first semester, we did an innovation competition, and that was fun. That was like my first time pitching a business. I was like, whoa, this is what this is like.
Now, what did you pitch?
We pitched a tread power. It was called tread power, and it was a way to basically monetize or help offset the operating costs of gym owners. And it was just a thought. It was just one of those things. Hey, let's brainstorm an idea, and they're like, okay, brainstorm your idea and make it real as you can. And so that was the project, and no, it was very, very interesting to try to like make that real, and then that's when it hits you. Whoa, that's what I need to learn. I did not know that I had to do that like a
Did
business
you have to
plan.
present?
Yes, sir, we did.
And how nervous were you when you presented?
I gotta say, I was a little nervous, but I think I was more excited than I was nervous.
Yeah.
But definitely it was exhilarating. It was fun to be a part of, and to be with a community of people that are all going for the same thing, and knowing that, you know, this is like your brother, your sister, this is family, like what they were saying. So definitely that was amazing.
You know, college can be a place where you find yourself. It's also a place where you can develop self-confidence. And it's a place for many people as a stepping ladder to the so-called American dream, which many people believe have become more elusive to new generations of people than before. But sitting here and listening to all of you, it seems like all of you believe in this American dream. Do you?
I definitely think, like you said, I mean, education is, I value it so much because, as I was mentioning with my undergrad experience, I don't know when I would have reached the realizations that I did had I not dedicated a lot of time to education.
Right.
And you know, as Christian mentioned, it's being intentional is extremely important, and being in a community like the one that U of H gives to us, it gives you time to be very intentional with how you decide to go into the you know, the world after you're in your education phase. So I definitely think, I remember when I started my MBA during the orientation, Dean Pavlo walked into the room and he said, by the end of 2 years, you're gonna have your dream job. So I think that that's like, when you talk about American dream, I think I mean, that kind of energy that they give you, it's been very motivating to me to be a part of U of H like that, where everybody is motivating you and they want to see you win, and they want all of us to win. And like, not just for the sake of the school's numbers, though I mean, of course there's that as well, but more for the sake of like, let's genuinely make you the best genuine people that you can be, so that you genuinely love U of H. And I think it's definitely, that's the vibe that I'm in for
Yeah.
sure. So
That's great.
yeah.
Now, if you were to advise, Sam, an applicant who's starting their college journey to come here, what would you say that you think would be the selling proposition to get them to come?
So to sell the University of Houston to them? Well, as we've mentioned now, I would start with the culture and also how diverse, as Christian mentioned, the students are. If someone were to feel like they were so alone in the world or very independent, there's so many different things that you can do and so many different people you can find at the university that you can align yourself with through your values or what you're familiar with even. But for me, at least my favorite selling proposition is, again, all those opportunities for either professional or personal development. And I would definitely start with my favorite of the sales program, but I know everyone has different thoughts on those. And so for me, I think, for example, the selling proposition of the sales program that brought me on was to be able to develop my skills of selling myself and, like you mentioned, those self-confidence skills. But Bauer, or UH as a whole again, would be to immerse yourself in a culture of support and resources available to you for whatever you need. And again, just to continue to have that family in whatever organization or class that you bring yourself to.
So let's dive into a little storytelling. Give me an example of a moment or an opportunity that you've experienced at Bauer that in many ways crystallize what it's like to come here and study here. Maybe it's a moment when you were selling golf sponsorships in your sales program. I don't know. I don't want you to pick that necessarily. I want you to pick whatever comes to mind. So tell me a story about something you've done here that really resonated with you and made a difference to you.
That really resonated and made a difference to me.
Yes. Just one example.
For me, what impacts me the most is, again, developing people, but also building relationships. And so I can think of an example of, in the sales program, but in my second semester, so more recently, I am on the student executive board within the sales program, and I'm the leadership chair. So I'm in charge of choosing the team leads for the first semesters that come into the sales program, and also making sure that they have the resources available to be successful and be a great role model or leader for those for those teams to be successful in either hitting their quotas or hitting their personal goals. And so, for example, I did a team lead crash course 101 in the very beginning of the semester, even before classes started. Once I've picked all the team leads, they all brought different skill sets to the table, different personality types. And so for me, myself and the program manager and the president of the student executive board, we hosted a 1-hour call where I gave them tips and tricks of my personal favorite things to do to continue to motivate and incentivize a team to hit their quota or their personal goals, but also from different feedbacks that I've gotten. And so I did 2 different little seminars of that, and I never realized how much of an impact that had. Of course, not only through the thank you, Sam, of those acknowledgments of thank you for putting it together, but fast forward 2 months now into the semester, all of those teams were able to hit their quota, and the team leads were very, very amazing to extend their gratitude towards me as well to make sure that they were to be successful. And so I think seeing that full circle moment for me was very impactful, and I really enjoyed it, and I hope that answered your question.
Now, I would imagine that requires a bit of tough love at times.
Yeah, holding each other accountable.
This is your ferocious part. How ferocious can you be then?
I'll give you an example through the sales program. Again, I'm also part of the key account class.
Right.
It's very selective. Top 20 students of every semester are chosen to be in that class, and it's by interview and invitation only. And through those 20 students, I was actually really scared to apply to be a key account manager, so being the team lead of one of the teams. And I ended up backing out in the interview of, you know what, I don't think I'll have the time commitment for it in the next semester. Fast forward to retreat of key accounts, and I was selected to be manager. And I talked to our corporate relations director, John Pingle, and his advice that stayed with me, you don't have to trust in you right now, but trust me. So as I, of course, take the skills that I honed in from TBLCP, for example.
What's that acronym mean?
Yeah, the Ted Bauer Leadership Certificate Program. Once I remembered, okay, here are the skills that I learned through that program and through this experiential learning opportunity, I actually started a strategy and plan list with my team of 4 total people, and we all manage partnerships. My partners that I manage right now is Hewlett Packard Enterprise and Salesforce.com. But we all have a team quota as well of roughly $23,000. And we made our goals. And our very first goal that we wrote down together is we will win top team. And I think where the Ferocious comes in to the rest of the teams is that our team dynamic is so incredibly strong, and we have created this very amazing sense of family. But I definitely couldn't have done that without them. It's all about
And this is the
making sure.
money from the grave team?
Money in the grave.
Money
team.
in the grave, sorry.
Yes, sir. No, you're fine. Yeah.
Do you have a story to tell about something that you've been involved in at the school that kind of crystallizes your experience here?
I do, sir, and I think that there's quite a lot of experiences that I could talk about. It's overall an exciting time to be at the University of Houston with us joining the Big 12, with our sports teams, with the new buildings, with our new state funding. There's just an excitement to be in this school, and I think we can all agree that there's so much potential for the school to continue to grow. And those opportunities that we're given, such as being at the leadership retreat for 3 days, getting to know peers from across the board in different programs, or in programs such as the TED Bio Leadership Certificate program, we're able to expand my knowledge way more. But a clear example happened this year. I'm involved with the Alpha Association, which stands for the Association of Latino Professionals for America. It's the largest Latino business professional organization across the nation with 115,000 members. So this year was the first time that a Bauer student or University of Houston student received the National Student of the Year award, and that happened to be me. So that was one example that allowed me to showcase how Bauer prepared me in all aspects, and through leadership, public speaking, professionalism, to be able to continue to grow myself and represent the growth of our institution on a national stage. That's one of the many examples, but being able to participate, get to know so many different students, support them, even be mentored by previous or alums or mentor future incoming students is one of the key things that you can see across the board.
Yeah. Terrence, do you have an example?
Man, I kind of like Samantha. I kind of have a bunch of them, but I mean, I can choose my first one. I think the first time it was crystallized for me was when I participated and volunteered in my first Wolf Fest.
Now, what's Wolf Fest?
Wolf?
Those who don't know.
So Wolf Fest is an event that WCE hosts every year in the fall, and in the spring. And essentially what we do is we divide ourselves into teams, and we are all competing in a sense, healthy competition, but we're all competing to raise money for the next class. So the next class can receive scholarships and have access to all the things that we got access to. So it's a huge opportunity for us to give back to the junior class.
Right.
And so it's a very, very cultural time for us because we want to get the community involved, and we want to interact with people and engage with people and try to get them to see, like, hey, entrepreneurship can be fun. You know, it can be exciting. We can eat really great food, all kind of food, seafood, whatever you want. But we come out, we play games, and it's just an awesome time to connect. And I think when you're planning events like this, and it's as big as it is, so many things can go wrong.
Sure.
And I think it's when I started noticing that everybody, no matter what went wrong, everybody had the right mentality. Everybody had that mentality that we try to foster in the military. It's like, you know, we can get this done. We will win. We will conquer. And it's just to be around such positive energy. It's just, I mean, when it does go right, and you see all the things that went wrong, it's just like, man, we did it. We did it as a team too, and like.
Yeah.
it's like it's once again, it comes back to that familial thing, because you get that sense of family when trials come and you persevere. And so I think for me, my first experience with that, it was just, I couldn't believe that I was experiencing that again, like that camaraderie, and it really sparked a fire for me. And it was like, I thought I wanted it before, but I really want it now. So yeah, absolutely.
That's great.
I think that's one.
Angela, how about you? Do you have a magic moment that you've had at Bauer?
So many, like everybody is saying. Bauer is, I think, a very sweet place. So there's like no dearth of magic moments, but and I mean that like genuinely. When I started my MBA, I had like a marketing professor, Professor Partha Krishnamurthy, my finance professor, Professor Paul Pavel, my statistics professor, Professor Jove. I don't know what her full name is, but I mean they were so in love with what they were teaching and with helping us genuinely learn what they were talking about, and in exciting us about their field. So I was just like, how is it you have 3 incredible professors at one time? That's like, to me, that's like really a gold mine. But I would say it's all those moments like that where you realize the quality and the energy that you're surrounded by, that just make Bauer very magical. But I would kind of say one moment that really defined, like a very, like you said, crystallized my sense of appreciation for Bauer was when we received the nomination to be the graduate, like I received the nomination to be the graduate student representative for the Bauer College board. I was like, I didn't even know that they have student representatives. I don't know much about many universities, so I don't know if that's a common thing. But I think the mentality that Bauer has of really bringing the students with it, that is like very admirable. And I also appreciated that, I do put in a lot of work. I'm a very cool student, I know that. And I'm a like hardworking person, not to like toot my own horn, but very often nobody gives you appreciation. And I think Bauer has never, like my professors included, my classmates, they never hold back from appreciating me. And that really made me feel so special. And so I think I'm going to take that with me always. But I think that, just the fact that someone is paying attention to you, and everybody is at Bauer, and not in a way that like, let me mold you into what I want you to be. Like, you be yourself, and like really be yourself, and everybody is paying attention, and they're going to appreciate you for that. I think Bauer really does do that, at least from my experience. So I think that really solidified my connection with Bauer for sure, and super thrilled.
What I'm impressed about is the sense of community that each of you described, because it's a large place. Got a lot of students at Bauer. I think 8,000 graduate and undergraduate students. Many of them are commuter students. They don't live on campus, so that often creates less of a connection to the campus. So what do you think the secret is here that makes the sense of community, given the fact that it's so large a place, and it's a place where many people don't reside on campus? Tristan?
Actually, I think I might have a good answer for that. And one of them being that there's so many involvement opportunities that are also accessible to commuter students. Whether it's over 10 programs, I know it's way more than 10, but programs such as WOLF, such as PES, and also all of the student organizations. So there's actually staff dedicated for running these organizations, and there's around 20 student organizations with all types of interest only within Bauer.
Yeah.
Across campus there's way more, but specifically for business students, there's 20, all ranging from 100 to 200 up to 500 students involved, and that in itself creates its own community. I can speak for HBSA, the Hispanic Business Student Association, bringing so many people that are majority commuters and first generation, all being able to relate to one. Yes, being like-minded individuals, wanting to better themselves, develop themselves, but helping and supporting one another. And although there's distance in between, it's very easy to, once you have that community, to connect on a personal level. So I think that that is what drives a lot of this community feeling, and also how personable the faculty, even the deans are. Being able to have a dean go into your class, have the Dean Pablo, our main dean, he has walk-in hours, and where students can go to his office and just chat with him about what their experience is like. And same thing with Rockwell. I want to say every professor has walk-in hours as well, so you actually feel like you belong, and that is unique.
Yeah. Let's tell me about your favorite course so far and your favorite professor. So Sam, let's start with you. What's your favorite course?
My favorite course is that key account class. It's taught by 3 professors, so I can't say a favorite, but Randy Webb, Carl Herman, and John Pingle. Combined, they have roughly 40 years also in the corporate world, ranging in those sales executive leadership roles. Carl Herman was working in many different industries, but he worked as a sales leader in Halliburton, for example, and Randy Webb was also a sales leader in the Mars company. And for me, to be able to have access to their knowledge, we call them the big trinity in our class, it's amazing. And it's also, again, an experiential learning opportunity class. We actually just came back 2 weeks ago from a learning opportunity to go to New York City, where our purpose was solely to meet sales leaders and learn more about their role, how they lead their sales organization, and just be curious. And that was thanks to Andy and Barbara Gessner, who they invest not only, of course, energy, but so much love to all the students. And in that class, we work a lot on our confidence, on our time management, accountability skills, leadership skills, and presentation skills that go beyond just sales, but that we can take anywhere with us. And it certainly taught me a lot about myself, and the semester's not even over yet. It's one of the hardest classes that I've loved so much because of that personal and professional development. And I have nothing but good things to say about the class.
And I'm assuming that this triumvirate of teachers are your favorite teachers, maybe?
They are.
Okay. Terrence, how about you? What's your favorite class so far?
Man, I have 3 classes I really, really like, and I have 3 professors in each one of them I really, really, but I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about entrepreneurial capital and Professor Ed Blair. The things that I've learned about financial statements and getting a deal done, acquiring a business, all the things that I just don't feel like I would have known if it had not been for Professor Ed Blair. I think that in his class, being able to learn how to make calculations, like make sense with numbers really, and not be able to think about things just in one way, but opening your mind to like different things, different ways that you can accomplish the same thing.
Right.
I think it just brings you a sense of peace and an excitement to how much further can you go, you know? If I knew that, you know, we do all kinds of activities in his class where he'll give us a scenario and he'll say, this is the financial statement. This is all you know on this paper. Go. And everybody in the class, by the time it's over, will have like everybody will have a different deal. And it's just like, here you go. This is for you to see that no deal really is the same.
Yeah.
You know, and the success that you get from each deal is kind of defined by what you define it as, you know.
Yeah.
And so just given the knowledge from him to be able to maneuver these kinds of things in a very, very seamless manner,
Cool.
it helps a lot.
Christian, your favorite class?
Well, there's very dedicated, passionate professors, and that's what helps me connect more with the class, with the content of it. And throughout my 3 years now at Bauer, I have found that in almost every semester. Recently, this semester, one I can highlight is Professor Dale Rude. He is my behavioral finance course. He's teaching that course. And every single class, we actually had a little stock market scenario mock trial, if you will, and where we all had to bring $5. I never saw those $5 again because some other of my classmates were able to, through the scenario, take them and steal them away from me, through the stock market, of course. But his dedication of whenever I've had situations that come up with mental health, with all the students' accommodations, he's very flexible and understanding. His experience goes beyond what I have seen in the past, and also just understanding for students. He is a professor, actually, who celebrated his 70th birthday at this restaurant that I was telling you about, brewery, sorry, and invited his students from all his years at Bauer. And he was telling us he invited over 500, 600 students. I know, quite impressive. And he was just sharing his he's a big fan of The Doors, and he was sharing his classic rock playlist with us in class, and then sent us the link to go ahead and check it out. So he actually goes above and beyond to build that personal connection with us, and that's something that often is unheard of.
So did you listen to his playlist?
I'm a huge fan of The Doors.
Riders on the Storm?
Yes. Roadhouse Blues. Yeah.
Light My Fire.
I know. Well, now I'm introducing you to Professor Dale Rude. You'll probably get along really well.
Okay. Your favorite class and professor? And I saw you nodding your head when Christian was talking about his professor.
Oh yeah, Professor Rude is like an incredible person, very, very engaging, and he did invite us to his birthday party. And and you know, music, he's so willing to be very genuine and open with all of us. I think he is one of my favorite professors. I'm having a hard time picking as well because everybody teaches such different things, and so, you know, they add value to your life in very different ways. But I'd like to highlight, I'm taking currently a business consulting lab course, so with the Professor Paul Galvani, and Professor Galvani also studied literature, so I already appreciate him a lot. But he's a very well-rounded person and a very insightful person, and it really comes through in his lectures. And the course is an experiential learning course, so we're 4 students. There's 8 students total in the class. There's 2 teams, and we each have gotten assigned an organization that we are consulting for, and we're starting a consulting project from scratch to recommendations, not implementation. But I mean, like, you know, getting real consulting experience and putting in, you know, working within the Houston community to build a very strong connection. We're working with nonprofits, so building a connection with them, learning about consulting, while having the guidance of this incredible person and getting to know him and his experience with consulting. As someone who's interested in consulting, it's like invaluable experience. And,
Sure.
and I used to be one of those people that's like, if I have to work on the weekends, I'm going to like throw hands with everybody. But I am working on the weekends for this class because I genuinely am so, like, I found my passion through this class, like it's solidified of, you know, working with public sector. So I think that it's a great opportunity. But could I answer your other question about why U of H's culture is so, you know, brings us together? I think to add on to what Christian was saying, Houston is like a city where you can be from anywhere at any point of your life, any background, come to Houston, and I think you will get by being yourself. I don't think you need to change yourself to fit in Houston. I think U of H captures that culture extremely well, and it's like Houston is not like I don't think it's known as a university town. I don't think U of H is distracting like that, and I think that it works very well with the community. And even I would say it's not distracting in the sense that even when we're here, I'm not distracted by anything besides trying to build myself as a person. And I think that U of H really captures the best parts of Houston. And I think that's why everybody loves it so much when they graduate, is because they find that the person they're most focused on at U of H is themselves, which is like I think that's the most important person to be focused on for your whole life. So it kind of teaches you maybe consciously or subconsciously to focus on yourself, and it doesn't distract you from that. So I think U of H, that's why the culture is so like strong here, because everybody loves themselves, or well, they're on that journey, I guess. I can't say they love themselves, but the journey, there's a path to that for sure.
That's great.
So be ferocious.
Thank you so much.